What is up, my tough trainers? I'm Lance, and today I'll be counting down my top 10 favorite Steel-type Pokemon. In the last top 10 video that I did, I counted down my top 10 favorite Psychic-type Pokemon, and in that video, I said you guys could vote for whether you would like to see me count down my top 10 favorite Poison-type Pokemon, or my top 10 favorite Steel-type Pokemon in the next top 10 video, and Steel got about 2/3 of the votes, so that means that is what I will be doing today. In the next top 10 video that I do, you guys can vote for whether you would like to see me count down my top 10 favorite Poison-type Pokemon, or my top 10 favorite Bug-type Pokemon. To vote, just let me know what you would rather see in the comment section below. And as usual, of course, this video is 100% opinion based, which means if you don't agree with my list, go ahead and leave your top 10, top 5, or even top 2 or 3 Steel-type Pokemon in the comment section below. At number 10 today, we have got a Pokemon that I've never actually used in-game or in competitive battling, and it is Aggron. I'd have to say Aggron is only really here because of how cool I think it looks, and because of how good I think it would be if I did use it in competitive battling, because this guy does now have a very good Mega Evolution, which gets the ability Filter, which means super effective hits do less damage than they usually would against Aggron, and Aggron has a base defense stat of 230, which is insanely high, which means he can take hits very well, and he does get a pretty good moveset with moves that are good such as Heavy Slam, Earthquake, Metal Burst, Fire Punch, Stone Edge, Toxic, Steel Rock, Roar, and Superpower. So that is why Aggron is at number 10 today. Let's move on. At number 9, we've got a Pokemon that I've just used in-game in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, and it is Steelix. I'd have to say Steelix looks like a very cool, scary Pokemon, which is over 9 meters tall, which is 30 feet, and I would just hate to run into Steelix in real life. I reckon it would look really scary. In-game, it can have the ability Sturdy, Rockhead, or Sheer Force, which are all three very good abilities, so you can pick which one you want to use if you want to use this guy. And he has a base defense stat of 200, which is very high, and he does get some good moves such as Steel Rock, Earthquake, Gyro Ball, Roar, and Dragon Tail. Let's move on to number 8. At number 8, we have got a Pokemon that I would be pronouncing Scizor if I was making this list 3 years ago. You guys know who it is. It is Scizor. I'd have to say Scizor looks really great. I love his color. I think it suits him very well. And in my opinion, he has an even better looking Mega Evolution. His Mega Evolution gets the ability Technician, which means that its moves with a base power of 60 or less will do more damage than usual. So that means attacks such as Bullet Punch, Pursuit, and U-Turn will do a lot of damage. But he can also work well with moves such as Swords Dance, Roost, Defog, and X-Scissor. Mega Scizor has great attack and defense and pretty good special defense, and I'm sure if I were to use him in competitive battling one day, he would do some great things. So that is why Scizor is at number 8. At number 7, we have got a legendary Pokemon from Generation 5, who is Genesect. Genesect is a Pokemon I've used quite a bit in competitive battling. All of Genesect's stats are very good, which means he is very good to use, but his best stats would probably be his attack and his special attack, which means he can be a physical or a mixed attacker, although I usually run him with special attacks, and he gets the ability Download, which means when you send him in, there is a chance his special attack or attack will go up. And he works very well with moves such as U-Turn, Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Thunder, Bug Buzz, and Iron Head. I've had a lot of fun using him. I've thrown quite a few foes off guard, so that is why Genesect is at number 7. At number 6, we've got another Pokemon that I've used quite a bit in competitive battling that I think is very fun to use, and it is Excadrill. Excadrill has got 3 great abilities. You can choose whatever one you want on him, one of them being Sand Rush, which doubles your speed in a sandstorm, one of them being Sand Force, which increases the power of ground, rock, and steel type attacks in the sandstorm, and his final one, which is my favourite, Mold Breaker, which means he can hit his foe no matter what their ability is. So if someone has Levitate, you can still get off a nice Earthquake and do a lot of damage, so that is a very good ability to have. Excadrill has got a great attack stat and also pretty good speed, and he works very well with Swords Dance, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Steel Rock, Rapid Spin, and Iron Head. Just this morning I got swept by an Excadrill, so I think that goes to show how good he is if he can sweep one of my teams, and in my opinion he does look pretty good, so let's move on to number 5. At number 5 we've got yet another Pokemon that I like to use in competitive battling. It is Part Flying type, and it is Skarmory. I reckon Skarmory looks very cool. I just love its design, and it gets the ability Sturdy, which works very well, which means it cannot be taken out with one hit if it is on full health, Skarmory has got very good defense, and it gets some good moves such as Spikes, Roost, Whirlwind, Brave Bird, Taunt, and Stealth Rock. I like to run him with Stealth Rock and Whirlwind, and also Brave Bird, and he's a great Pokemon to lead off with, and because of his great defense, he can do some amazing things. So that is why Skarmory is at number 5 today. At number 4, we have got the final legendary Pokemon that is going to be on this list today. It is a legendary from Generation 4, and it is Heatran. I've used Heatran quite a bit in competitive battling, and he has done some very good stuff. I reckon Heatran looks very, very cool, and I remember trying to catch Heatran the first time I was playing through Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, and I used up nearly all of my Ultra Balls on this guy. I had him on very low health, and I was getting pretty frustrated. I really wanted to catch him. Then eventually when I got down to one of my final Ultra Balls, I finally caught this guy, and I remember feeling very, very happy. This guy can have either the ability Flash Fire, which means he is immune to fire type attacks, or Flame Body, which means when you attack him, there is a chance you will get burnt. So those are two pretty good abilities, and this guy has got very good special attack, and pretty good defense and special defense. He works well with moves such as Lava Plume, Protect, Roar, Stealth Rock, Toxic, Will-O-Wisp, and Earth Power, but I guess you could also give him Overheat or Fire Blast if you want, they would work well as well. So that is why Heatran is at number 4 today. He is a very cool defensive Pokemon. At number 3, we've got one of my favourite Pokemon introduced in Generation 6, a Pokemon that I've been using a lot recently in competitive battling, and it is Aegislash. I'd have to say out of all of the Pokemon introduced in Generation 6, Aegislash probably has one of the best designs, and I think Aegislash is very, very good in competitive battling. I've been running him with King Shield, Swords Dance, Shadow Sneak, and Sacred Sword, which does work very well, but I've heard he can also work well with special attacks such as Shadow Ball and Flash Cannon, and I've heard he can even be good with Substitute, so I'll have to give that a try one day. And in my opinion, one of the best things about this guy is his ability Stance Change, which means he has 2 different forms, and it means that if you go for an attacking move, you will go into your attack form, which has very good attack, and if you go for a Swords Dance or a King Shield or something like that that doesn't affect the foe, you will go into defense form, which means your defense and special defense will be very high. And I've even been able to sweep a couple of teams with Aegislash. In my opinion, he is one of the best ghost type Pokemon for in competitive battling. So that is why Aegislash is at number 3 today. At number 2, we have got a Pokemon that was number 3 on my top 10 favourite fighting type Pokemon, and it is Lucario. I've used Lucario in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, White 2, Pokemon X, and competitive battling, so I have used this guy a lot, and I think that one of the main reasons I like him is because I think he looks awesome. In my opinion, his Mega Evolution makes him look even better, which is really cool, and his Mega Evolution can be very good in competitive battling. It gets the ability Adaptability, which boosts the power of stab moves, and his Mega Evolution has got great attack and special attack with pretty good speed, which means he can be a physical attacker or a special attacker, or even a mixed attacker. Some of his best physical attacks would be Swords Dance, Close Combat, Power Up, Punch, Crunch, and Shadow Claw, and also Extreme Speed. And some of his better special attacks would be Aura Sphere, Calm Mind, Dragon Pulse, Dark Pulse, and Shadow Ball. So that is why Lucario is at number 2 today. I'm very fond of him. Let's go to number 1. If you know me, you were probably expecting this from the start of this video. At number 1 today, we have got my favourite Pokemon of all time. It is Empoleon. There is not one thing I dislike about this Pokemon. The first time I ever played through Pokemon Pearl, I chose Piplup as my starter Pokemon, and I'm so glad I did because he was so fun to use, and ever since then, Empoleon has been my favourite Pokemon. I've used him in Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and Competitive, and I just think he looks amazing. That is the main reason I like him so much. I think his design just looks great, and I have been using him a little bit in competitive battling recently with Stealth Rock, Scald, Ice Beam, and Roar, but I've heard he also works well with Toxic and Substitute, so I'll have to give that a go one day. And this guy also has a very good type combination of Water and Steel, which is very unique because he is the only one with that type combination. And he has also got very good special attack, pretty good special defense, and also pretty good HP attack and defense. And his Pokemon X Pokédex entry says it swims as fast as a jet boat, which I thought was really cool to hear. So that is why Empoleon is at number 1 on this list today. A lot of people think Drifblim is my favourite Pokemon, but he is actually my second favourite. But the reason Empoleon is not actually my channel mascot is just because I've seen a couple of other channels with that as a mascot, so I wanted to do something unique. But Empoleon is honestly my favourite Pokemon. So that is all for this video today. As usual, if you guys enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you in my next video. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to vote for whether you would like to see me count down my top 10 favourite Poison-type Pokemon or my top 10 favourite Bug-type Pokemon in the next top 10 video, and stay tough.